Hello, YouTubers. Last thing I'm going to talk about with Chapter 7. There's a chart on page 161, and I asked a few questions about this chart, and it has to do with Muslim populations in different nations around the world. And the first question that I posed is, what nations in the world have the highest absolute number of Muslims? And absolute number means how many Muslims live in this country. So we immediately look to the list as and check it out in the chart of what countries have the highest population of Muslims, and we look at three nations which stand out. The first one is Indonesia. Second one with 188, almost 190 million Muslims. The second one is India with 140 million Muslims, and the third one is Pakistan with 134 million Muslims. And so we think, wow, that's a lot of Muslims living in these countries. And you think India, wait a minute, we just read about India and we've talked about India and how India is mostly Hindu. So how does that make sense that it's the second highest population of Muslims living in India? Well, look at the next part of that question is what countries have the highest percentage of Muslims, and all of a sudden the numbers change quite a bit. So Morocco is on that list. Morocco has 99% Muslims living there. Iran is also 99% Muslim. And then Pakistan, which we looked at before, which has 134 million Muslims, also has 97% of the population is Islam. India all of a sudden drops down to only 14% of the population is Muslim. The rest of them are Hindus. And so we ask, is Islam strong in a country like India? Does it have much influence? And even though they've got a huge population, the second highest population of Muslims in the world, it still only represents 14% of the people, which makes it very much a minority religion in India. Compared to a place like Pakistan, which has a huge population, 134 million, not a huge population, but a big population, and most of them, almost all of them, are Muslim. So this is interesting. And we look at Indonesia. Indonesia has also a large population, and a large population, a large percentage Muslim, 87% Muslim. So the strength of a religion really depends on a couple of things: the percentage of people in the nation that are that religion, and then the population of the nation. Because a lower population means that kind of while that nation might have a very for instance, Morocco, 30 million people. 99% of them are Muslim. The religion's very strong in Morocco. So that's kind of the point that I'm getting at there. What were the main ways, according to this? It says map, but this is obviously not a map. This is a chart. What are the main ways in which Islam was spread? And we start to look through the list, and we see that the majority of these countries converted to Islam through trade with Arab Muslims in the earlier times, missionaries, mainly Sufi missionary activity that was happening, or mass conversions that were voluntary. And usually that's the idea of a leader converting to the religion and then the people following suit. So in no way, and the next question asked, does it appear that Islam spread violently? In no way, according to this chart, does it look like Islam spread violently. There was no violent mission to overthrow other people in the name of Islam, to kill or convert. People chose voluntarily to convert to this religion. It had mass appeal. It had a great number of people who looked at it and said, "I like this system. It gets very simple, straightforward, and gives me a direct connection to God, to Allah." And the last question, does Islam appear to coexist with other religions? And if you look through, you notice that even in the places where there's 97%, we still have a population of other religions. We can't tell on this chart how minority religions are treated. We can't tell on this chart how, when Islam is the minority religion, like in India, how Muslims are treated differently than Hindus. But we see that nations do have mixed percentages. A nation like Nigeria, for instance, half Muslims and the other half other religions, we would be kind of forced to assume that it can coexist, although the reality is sometimes a little bit different. So we'll get into that as we talk a little bit more about world history. So I hope you're having a great time and continue to be awesome.